Hello, valued listeners. Today, I will deliver a speech summarizing the history of the United States. The history of America is a diverse journey filled with various events, starting from the exploration period, initiated by Christopher Columbus's discovery of the Americas in 1492. This journey evolved over time with independence wars, territorial expansions, and cultural transformations. In the mid-17th century, English colonists began settling in America, forming the 13 colonies from Virginia in the south to Georgia in the southeast. However, increasing disputes among the colonies and dissatisfaction with British rule led to the American Revolution. Starting in 1775, this war concluded in 1783 with America gaining independence. The United States Constitution, drafted in 1787, laid the foundation for a federal government. Yet, issues such as slavery, the expulsion of Native Americans, and other social problems marked challenging moments in America's history. The 19th century witnessed significant events in America, including the Industrial Revolution, westward expansion, and the Civil War. The conflict between the North and South, led by Abraham Lincoln, resulted in the abolition of slavery and the formation of a unified nation.
The 20th century was a period when America's global influence grew. World was II, the Cold War, the Civil Rights Movement, and the space race deeply impacted the country's history.
Native peoples and exploration period 15th century 1600s. Towards the end of the 15th century, the discovery of America took place as European explorers, especially the Spanish Christopher Columbus, reached the New World. However, with this discovery, the existing Native American populations faced the arrival of Europeans. Native tribes had to cope with the impact of this interaction on their cultures, economies, and social structures. Especially the settlement of Spanish colonizers in South America led to challenging struggles among the native peoples. The Spaniards, while attempting to discover the continent's rich gold and silver resources, engaged in conflicts with indigenous communities. Additionally, newly introduced diseases caused significant losses among the native populations. In North America, English, French, and Dutch colonizers interacted with native peoples by bringing their own cultures and engaging in trade. Trade, particularly in fur, created an economic connection between Europeans and Native Americans. However, these interactions often proved to be challenging and destructive for the native peoples. This period is crucial in the discovery of America and the initial contact with native peoples, holding significance for both Europe and the indigenous populations. These interactions played a substantial role in shaping later events in American history. Colonization and the Revolutionary War 1600s-1776. In the mid-17th century, English colonists began arriving in America, establishing the 13 colonies that stretched from Virginia and Massachusetts in the northeast to Georgia in the southeast. These colonies developed different cultures, economies, and social structures but found themselves united under the influence of the British government. The British government exploited the 13 colonies economically and imposed various restrictions on the colonists. Taxes and trade-related limitations led to discontent among the colonists, sparking a resistance movement highlighted by the slogan, "No taxation without representation." The idea of independence gained strength among thinkers and leaders. The Continental Congress, convened in 1774, made a series of decisions supporting ideas favoring independence, laying the groundwork for a series of events that initiated the American Revolution. The conflicts that erupted in Lexington and Concord in 1775 marked the beginning of armed resistance. During this period, American forces under the leadership of George Washington secured independence through a challenging struggle against the British. The Revolutionary War concluded in 1783 with the Treaty of Paris, in which Britain recognized the independence of the United States. This era witnessed many significant events that shaped the revolutionary spirit of America and laid the foundation for the country's fundamental principles. The philosophical basis of the Declaration of Independence, centered around the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, became a cornerstone of the American identity. Constitution and Early Republic Era 1787-1860s. The Constitutional Convention, convened in Philadelphia in 1787, drafted the United States Constitution, which became the fundamental legal document of the United States. The Constitution established the foundation for a federal government, balanced power among the states, and guaranteed the basic rights of citizens. With the adoption of the Constitution, George Washington became the first president of the United States in 1789. This period witnessed the formation of America's young republic and the shaping of its institutions. Key figures such as Alexander Hamilton, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison laid down fundamental principles that would shape the American political system and foreign policy. During this era, America's domestic politics saw a power struggle between Federalists and Democratic Republicans. Disagreements over Hamilton's financial plans and the strengthening of the central government led to early political divisions in America. The War of 1812 with England further solidified America's national independence and respect. Expansion westward gained momentum during this period. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 expanded America's territory from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains. However, growth and development also sparked conflicts, particularly concerning the issue of slavery. The institution of slavery in the southern states clashed with the free labor societies in the North, setting the stage for America's progression toward the Civil War. The early Republic era was a crucial period that shaped the formation of American identity and political systems. The Constitution and the political events during this era framed the principles that defined the foundational institutions of America. Industrial Revolution and Western Expansion 1870s-1900s. The Industrial Revolution made its impact in America during the second half of the 19th century. This period marked a transition from an agrarian-based economy to one dominated by factories and industry. Significant developments occurred in sectors such as railroad construction, mining, steel production, and electrification. The expansion of railroad networks accelerated economic growth by facilitating the faster transportation of raw materials and finished goods. The emergence of large cities and industrial regions during this period led to a rapid migration from rural areas to urban centers. Inventors like Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla played crucial roles in solidifying America's industrial and technological leadership. Another significant outcome of the Industrial Revolution was the emergence of the working class and the rise of labor movements. Concerns about working conditions, labor hours, and wage demands led to a series of strikes and protests. Simultaneously, America's westward expansion gained momentum. In addition to the territories acquired through the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, the discovery of gold in California in the 1840s further fueled migration westward. The westward expansion of America brought various challenges for Native peoples and encounters with American culture. This period represents a time of rapid economic and technological change in America. However, this growth also brought forth social issues, labor rights struggles, and cultural losses for Native peoples. The Industrial Revolution and Western expansion symbolize crucial steps in America's journey toward becoming a modern power. World Wars and the Cold War 1900s-1980s. The first half of the 20th century marked a period of increasing global influence for America. Participation in World War I 1914-1918 brought the United States more actively into world politics. However, after the war, America adopted an isolationist policy and withdrew from international affairs for a while. With the outbreak of World War II 1939-1945, America entered the conflict alongside its allies, using nuclear weapons on Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the war's end. Following the war, the United States emerged as a global superpower and entered the beginning of the Cold War. The Cold War was a period of ideological and military competition between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. During this era, America intervened in numerous regional conflicts worldwide. The end of the Cold War, symbolized by the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, saw America continuing to play a decisive role in world politics. During this period, the United States achieved significant success in terms of economic growth, cultural influence, and scientific progress. Civil rights movement and contemporary America 1950s present, the 1952nd and 1962nd witnessed a significant turning point in America with the civil rights movement. Particularly in the southern states, a major struggle against racial discrimination unfolded among African Americans. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. advocated for equality and civil rights through peaceful protests and media campaigns. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, passed during this period, prohibited racial discrimination and granted equal rights to African Americans. External issues like the Vietnam War during this time also led to substantial protests in America. The Watergate scandal in the 1970s caused a profound crisis of confidence in American politics. The social, political, and cultural changes during this period deeply influenced America's modern identity. In contemporary times, America stands out as a country known for technological leadership, global economic influence, and cultural diversity. However, ongoing challenges such as political division, racism, economic inequality, and environmental issues continue to be significant hurdles that America faces. I hope this brief overview has provided a general insight into the history of America. While there is ample material to delve into for more details, this speech aimed to offer information by focusing on the key milestones in America's history. Enjoy!